Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
A very warm welcome. Today we will start our course. We will start with the basic concept, what is property, and then we will see what are the similarities and differences in property and intellectual property. We will start a second module titled Property and Intellectual Property. Before appreciating the concept of intellectual property, it is important to know what property is. Property is those real or intellectual goods that are commonly recognized as being the rightful possession of a person or a group. So, anything which belongs to someone individually or collectively is property. The two words are important, real or intellectual and rightful possession. Probably you have heard of cases and same flat is registered on many names, and then the issues start as who is the real owner. Have you heard of such things? Here also, with respect to intellectual property rights, ownership is very important. Hence, rightful possession is important part when you deal with the property. And how you will find out the rightful possession? Is there any way? There is. We will see in upcoming example in a few minutes. Now, the basic trait of property is that it has an ownership and possession. Property is recognized as a legal right of an individual. Legal right over property gives its owner exclusive rights which allows him to exclude others from using it, and he has all the rights to sell, license, use, etc. Examples of property are land, gold, cars, etc. Now, going further, do you know if there is any classification of property? Generally, property is divided into two categories, tangible property and intangible property. Tangible properties are those properties which have certain defined physical form. Such properties can be perceived by a sense. For instance, those which can be touched. For example, a pen has a physical form and can be touched, and it belongs to someone. Therefore, it is a property, and you know, if you want to use pen of someone else, you seek a permission. Why? Because the owner of the pen should allow you to use his or her property, a pen, correct? You can relate this example of pen with car, flat or any other property. Without permission, you are not allowed to use a property owned by other. Now, we will see intangible properties. Intangible properties are those which lack physical existence and cannot be perceived by senses. For instance, ability to write a novel. Book has tangible form, but not its content. So, book has physical existence. So, you perceive it by touch, you see by your eyes, right? But content does not have any physical presence, and you cannot perceive it by any of your senses such as touch, smell, taste, etc. You cannot. Similarly, a movie on CD, or if movie is stored on a pen drive, then you can see CD or pen drive. You can touch the CD or pen drive, but you cannot touch a content of the movie. So, it is intangible. Similarly, one more example, machine. You can touch the machine as such, but the thought process went behind the building or creating this machine cannot be touched or observed, right? So, intangible is which cannot be perceived by your senses. So, now you can understand what is tangible and what is intangible. Intellectual property is a type of intangible property. So, how we can define intellectual property? Intellectual property is a type of intangible property and is defined a creation of human intellect. Intellectual property is a result of effort of intellect of humans. IP properties are, or intellectual properties are, the creation of mind such as inventions, literary and artistic works and symbols, names, images and designs used in commerce. For example, movies, books, etc. So, when we say invention, just mention above, it is a patent, a type of intellectual property. When we say literally or artistic work, it is copyright, a type of intellectual property. When we say symbols, names, images, it is industrial design, again a type of a intellectual property. So, we will see these various types in the next module in detail. Now, we have enough understanding about property and its types, tangible and intangible, and we understood that intellectual property is a type of intangible property. Okay. Now, we will see what are the similarities between property and intellectual property. So, we know jewelry, flat or bungalow or a car. These are the examples of property, right. So, how it become your property? What exactly you do to possess this property? A rightful possession, what you are going to do for that rightful possession? Let us take the example of a flat. So, suppose you want to buy a flat, say in the building here. What first important thing you will do? You are now done with the prerequisites such as your preferences, you have chosen the location, now you want to own this flat in this building. Your deal is fixed with the builder or the previous owner, whatever. Now, what you will do legally? You will check if really this is owned by the person who is going to assign his rights to you, correct? How you do that? You do a legal search report to check the title. So, you say generally whether title of the property is clear, am I right? So, you take help of a lawyer and do the search report. Same thing you do when you go for the intellectual property right possession. You have created something. So, now you will check if really this creation is first time in the world. That world is very important. Remember, all intellectual properties are novel. That is first time in the world, not first time in India or China or USA, but first time in the world. How you will do this? There is any way? Who will help you? All these answers you will get in upcoming modules. So, you will do a search report with the help of a IP expert. So, IP expert will help you to find out whether that intellectual property, whatever you have created, whether it is really novel or not. Once it is positive, then the next step is registration, right. So, suppose you identify the flat, then what exactly you do? You do the registration in the government office. So, you will go to requisite government office in that particular area, you will deposit the fees, the government fees, and then you will give the whatever the drafted document is there, that agreement is there to the officer there to record the transfer of right from previous owner to you. So, same thing you will do for a intellectual property. You will go to requisite office as per the jurisdiction. So, you will give the, you will find out which is the, in which jurisdiction your patent office is there or trademark office is there. You will go there, you will give the requisite fee called statutory fee, and then you will give the document, that is if it is a patent you will give a complete specification, something a drafted document to the officer to register the IP. So, which is that office or jurisdiction where you will go and do the registration, that also we will see in upcoming modules. So, now the IP is registered just like your flat registration, done, the registration is complete. Now, you own that IP, same like the flat you own. So, property and intellectual property are almost similar, only difference is one is tangible, other is intangible. So, now you have rightful possession of the property as you have done search report, then second step is registration. There are further processes like prosecution, grant, that we will see in detail in upcoming modules. Okay. So, again we reiterate what is property. Property designates those real or intellectual goods that are commonly recognized as being the rightful possession of a person or a group. Real, that is say real estate, flat, bungalow, etc. Intellectual goods, that is intellectual property. So, now after doing this much procedure, what you received? You received rights. Which rights? Rights of ownership. Which are those rights? Controlled use of property. So, you can control use of property, use for yourself or a commercial purpose. Controlled use of property means that the owner has all the rights to decide in what manner and for what purposes he or she wants to use the property. It may be for personal use or commercial purposes, or the owner can give someone the rights to use the property. You can get benefit from property, renting out and earning from that, or licensing, lease, etc. The owner has rights to enjoy all the benefits that can arise from the property. It may be in the form of earning from the property by renting it out, licensing or leasing for a lump sum amount or the form of a royalties. You can transfer or sell property. The third right is a transfer or sale of property. Transfer can be made through assignment or license deed in lieu of lump sum money or as per decision taken by the parties in the whatever they have drafted the agreement. You can exclude others from using the property. The fourth right is excluding others from using the property. The owner has statutory right to exclude others. The owner is entitled to receive damages if in some cases if somebody take the unlawful possession of the property. So, suppose this is the home you own. You will control who can live in this room or in the house, that is your wish. You will decide what benefit you will get from the property, that is this house. You will decide if you want to sell or transfer this property to someone else. You will decide to whom you will allow and not allow to enter in your house. Government gives you protection and remedies if you face any issues about this property. So, if someone forcefully comes in your house, you can take legal action against him or her. Can you do this with intellectual property? So, if someone uses your patent or copyright without your permission, can you take any action? See the example.
A federal appeals court on Friday reinstated a $120 million jury award for Apple Inc. against Samsung, marking the latest twist in the fierce patent war between the world's top smartphone makers. The court said that there was substantial evidence for the jury verdict related to Samsung's infringement of Apple patents on its slide to unlock and autocorrect features, as well as quick links, which automatically turn information like addresses and phone numbers into links.
So, if someone infringes your rights, infringes means someone uses your intellectual property without permission, then you can take legal action against the infringer. So, here we come to the end of the second module. We understood the concept of property, what is property, what is intellectual property, what is tangible property, what is intangible property, what are the rights of a property owner, and what is a rightful possession. Now, in the next module, we will see the types of intellectual property and various acts enacted to protect these rights. Thank you.